Welcome, everyone. We'll get started here. I want to welcome you to the aluminum frame glass cabinet door and Aventos lift systems webinar with Blum and Element Designs. We are glad you joined us here this afternoon. My name is Chris Dwyer. I am the Western Regional Sales Manager for Element Designs. Here with me today, we have Kevin Creedon. He is our Vice President of Sales. Kevin oversees all outside and inside sales activities at Element Designs. Kevin is one of the original founders and partners in the company, which started in 2003. Also with us today is Lindsay Fisher. She is our product development manager. Lindsay is responsible for launching new products and maintaining Element Designs' current product offering. Lindsay started with Element Designs in inside sales in 2012 after graduating with a Master's of Architecture and began working in the product development department in 2017. And from Blum, we have Debbie Cannon. Debbie currently serves as the Vice President of Marketing for Blum. The team includes product, communication, and marketing technology experts. And lastly, we have Neil Horton, who is the product trainer for Blum. With 20 plus years at Blum, Neil has spent that time learning about product offering, cabinet applications, cabinetry, assembly methods, and much more. He takes his knowledge and uses it to teach and train new employees, salespeople, customers, and even homeowners how to use, install, and adjust all Blum hardware. So before we get started with the webinar, I'd just like to point out a couple things. At the bottom of the screen, you will see a chat function as well as a question and answer function. We do encourage questions. We will have time at the end of the webinar to go over those questions and answer as many as we can. If for any reason we do not answer your question, don't worry, we will answer that offline for you. But we prefer that you use the question and answer section and not the chat feature. So if you see that in there, please move it over to the question and answer. All right, so we will get started. So Kevin, if you don't mind starting, giving us a brief history of the Element Designs and Blum relationship.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks a lot, Chris. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. Yeah, Element Designs, as Chris already mentioned, we started in the year 2003. So that was 18 years ago when we started this fantastic journey. The company was founded by a collection of both Swiss and American partners. So kind of right from the get-go there, you can see where we had that European influence on the design of our products. We're headquartered here in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is just about 30 minutes down the road from Stanley, North Carolina, where our friends from Blum are located. Yeah, and our kind of a history of our relationship with Blum, it started very early in our existence. None of us really came from the cabinet industry, and we needed a bit of a crash course in how cabinets worked and how Blum hinges worked and other functional hardware. And the folks at Blum were kind enough to help us get on our way. In KBIS 2004, Steve Wrigley from Blum had introduced us to a lot of the Blum outside sales reps. And now today, quite a few of the Blum reps are also Element Designs reps. So we share a lot of synergy there. We started offering Blum hardware with our products, with our doors as a convenience item. We started stocking hinges, the specialty aluminum frame, narrow frame hinges, and eventually Aventos. And the Aventos hardware with the Element Designs doors just kind of turned into a perfect pairing. And that's brought us where we are today to talk about this Aventos wizard and how the products work together. So thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. Now let's learn a little bit about Blum from Debbie Cannon.
Thanks. So Blum has been in the States since about 1977. We've been manufacturing functional hardware, drawer runners, hinges, and we also, have included our lift systems in our product offering. We do a lot of research into our products. We go into people's homes, see how they're really using their kitchens, using their bathroom vanities, to see what kind of everyday wear and tear our products need to withstand to last the lifetime of the product. So we put a lot of work into making sure our products benefit every customer part of our global customer benefits philosophy, where everybody in the product usage chain, from the manufacturer of a cabinet to the end consumer in their home, can benefit from the use of Blum products. And because of that research, that's why we make sure our products last the lifetime of a kitchen, and we want them to withstand and supersede even ANSI BHMA testing standards for life cycle, for static load, and for self-closing performance. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate that. All right, so we will dive right in with some panel discussion here. We will start with Neil Horton, the product trainer for Blum, to kind of go over what is Aventos.
Thanks, Chris. We'll start with talking about the evolution of Aventos and how it all came about. It all started with customer requests to provide a lift system that was high quality, versatile, and provided a premium level of function. We took this request and began developing what is known today as our Aventos lift systems. In 2006, we brought the first of our lifts to market, with the others following over the next few years. As we gained experience with the lifts and requests from customers grew, we began improving the lift's function, ease of installation, and adding motion technology features that brought a new level of touch operation. As we continue to see the growth of lift systems in the market, Blum continues to invest in our Aventos offering. So we're constantly adding more to our Aventos program, trying to make it the best program we possibly can. Now I want to talk a little bit about the picture that we see on the presentation right now, basically comparing a hinge to a lift system. When comparing hinges versus lifts, it's not about opening the cabinet, but about how that door opens and the benefits that come with the difference. Hinge doors open into the space in front of the cabinet, which can create an obstacle that has to be maneuvered around when working in the kitchen. The advantage of a lift system is the door is lifted up and out of the way, so it's providing an unobstructed access to the cabinet, adjacent cabinets around it in the kitchen, and you're not having to duck or move around a cabinet door as you would with a hinge door. So that's really a big benefit to a lift system versus a hinge door application. Now, along with our Aventos program, we've developed 6 different Aventos lift systems to accommodate a wide range of applications. So we're going to kind of go through what we offer and what we typically use them for. So there are 6 different Aventos lifts to provide a solution for any application. We have the Aventos HF, which was the first one we developed. It's a bifold door designed for larger cabinets. So we're talking cabinet heights up to approximately 42 inches and cabinet widths up to 72 inches wide. Next, we have the HL, which is a lift-up door, perfect for appliance garage application. So this is designed really to work on that kind of hiding an appliance behind a cabinet or on a countertop. Next, we have the HS. It's an up and over large single door cabinet. So this is designed to lift the door up and over the top of the cabinet. So it's really a nice way to do a showcase cabinet or a display cabinet for nicer items. Next, we have the HK Top. This is a stay lift. This is the 2nd generation of Aventos lifts, making installation and ease of use even better. So this is kind of where we're heading with all of our other lifts as we go through the next few years. We have the HKXS stay lift. It's a fast and simple way to get into lift systems with a wide range of uses. And then lastly, we have the HKS stay lift. Small, compact design for the smaller cabinets. So cabinets that are, say, above a refrigerator or above a pantry door. Ideal for those because the lift itself is so small, so it suits itself for a smaller cabinet. Now let's talk a little bit about how Aventos works and the mechanics behind it. There are a lot of things that have to work in conjunction with one another in the lift to make the Aventos lift the door properly. Built into each lift mechanism is a robust spring package that works with the weight of the door and against gravity to lift and balance the door's motion throughout its function. The spring package is adjustable, so we can finally adjust the balance of the door and the weight of the door to ensure that the door properly functions, and then it also stays where I take my hand off of it. Integrated into the Aventos lift is a soft close device that provides a smooth, soft closing of the door. We also offer add-on options like servo drive, which is an electronic opening and close feature that allows you to effortlessly open and close the door with just a touch of your hand. So there's a lot of things that are happening in an Aventos lift system that give us that smooth opening and closing operation and allows us to adjust for a variety of different door styles and weights.
Great. Thanks, Neil. Fantastic information about the Aventos systems. Now I'd like to turn it over to Kevin and talk about the benefits of using aluminum frame glass doors with the Aventos hardware.
All right. Very good. So yeah, now we're going to take a look at some application images where you can see the mixed use of the Blum Aventos hardware that Neil just explained, the function and the easy use of, and how it works with our aluminum frame doors. So in this first application, actually in the first two we look at, we're going to be focused on our narrow frame aluminum door. And we have a few different narrow frame options. And by narrow frame, we're talking about a door that won't accept your normal European concealed hinges or normal hardware. But Blum has made special bracketry that'll work with these narrow frame doors. So in this first application here, we see the HL system. Actually see 3 HL units paired with a narrow frame door and what looks to be a bronze or gray clear tinted glass. And then same exact style door here, but showing one of the other Aventos mechanisms. This is the HS, so the up and over system. And again, just shows a really nice combination of this style of an aluminum frame door mixed in with the Blum Aventos hardware. All right, now we're going to take a look at a few HF systems. So the HF is that bifolding system, the one Aventos system that actually has 2 doors paired together. And in this case, this is a very unique style door. I think we're going to see another image in a few slides similar to this one, but we're starting to see a lot of popularity in this style, and we call it the illusion door. So when you're looking at these doors when they're closed, you really don't see an aluminum frame. What you see is a border of back painted glass, in this case, black back painted glass around the border. And that painted glass completely covers up the frame, so you don't see any miter joints, just an incredibly clean look. And then the center panel is in this case a satin frosted glass, but it could be clear, it could be a bronze or a gray tinted as well. More of the HF, and so actually there's 9 doors in this picture. It's hard to tell because they're all open in this shot, but the first bottom 2 rows of doors are the Blum Aventos HF system with the aluminum frame doors. That's in a stainless finish with the satin glass. And then above those HF bifolding doors are some, actually looks to be HS, so the up and over lifts above those. So very nice garage application here. All right, and now we have some more of the HF. In this case, we're looking at a fully back painted glass aluminum frame door. Previously, when we looked at the border, it was a gloss finish. Here we have our matte finish. So, which is very popular nowadays with the matte finishes. But we paint the entire piece of glass, and the glass goes all the way to the aluminum frame, so you do not see the aluminum frame until you really open the doors. So when everything's closed, it looks like just a wall of back painted glass doors. And then there's that concept we refer to as the illusion door again, where we just paint the border. In this case, we have a nice overall kitchen shot here, so you can really see how aluminum frame doors, along with the Aventos hardware, bring in a really nice accent piece to really any style cabinetry, whether it's modern, contemporary, even transitional. This application here is showing our aluminum frame doors in a brushed stainless steel finish. This is our AF003 profile, which is one of our best-selling, most popular. And you'll see it's paired with some doors on the island as accents, regular hinge doors, but then you have the the row of lift up doors on an HK, one of the HK systems across the top. And here we see some more doors. In this case, it's the natural aluminum finish. So that's Element Design's original finish. We launched in 2003, and it's still one of our best sellers. In this case, it's our number 11 frame. We call this AF011, and it's kind of a shaker style where the glass is set towards the center of the door frame, paired with some satin glass on HK units. All right, and then finally here, this shot here is illustrating our newest frame style that we just launched this past summer, AF015 or AF15 as we call it. And it's in our gold specialty coat finish, which is a finish that we do in-house with a water-based coating at our facility here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Carry 9 different finish options in these coated finish. So this is our gold finish. And the one very unique thing about this frame, maybe a little difficult to see in this shot, but there is an integrated finger pull all the way around the inside perimeter of the frame. So you can go completely handleless and have a finger grip on the top, bottom, left or right of the inside of the frame. So very unique design that we just introduced.
Thanks, Kevin. Those are great images. And I think, one thing to point out with a lot of those images that we saw was the combination of using wood and aluminum frame doors. That's an emerging trend that we are seeing, is, combining the wood and aluminum frame glass doors. The trend started in Europe and has finally made its way over to North America. So I think we'll continue to see that and much more aluminum frame doors, especially with the use of the Aventos hardware. So thank you, Kevin. All right. Next, I'd like to introduce Lindsay, and she is going to go over actually how to order aluminum frame doors with the Aventos system. So Lindsay, let me stop my screen here. Pass it over to you.
Here we go. Okay. So this is elementONLINE. This is our online ordering system so that you can quote, order, track, a whole bunch of good things with all of our products, including Aventos doors and Aventos hardware. So it is a system that is username and password protected. So you do need to register to get access to it. So the way to do that is simply go to our website, element-designs.com, and then find this how to buy link, and then click create an account. So once you fill out all of the forms here, just basic company information, a little bit of accounting information, and submit that, someone in our inside sales department will contact you and get your account set up. So they'll send you an email with a username and instructions on how to log in. So once you log in, you will see our home page. So all of our products are shown here, all the different categories that we have. So it's pretty simple to order aluminum doors, back painted glass, space systems, hardware, all good things. But I want to show you today our Aventos wizard. So we designed and developed this wizard to make it as easy as possible to order Aventos hardware. And we've taken all of the math, all of the guesswork out of it. So when you click into this section, you see a drop down for product type. And you have aluminum door, Decalux solid acrylic, and then wood door with hardware only. So we'll start with aluminum door. Now you just simply select the profile and the options that you want for your door. The insert group here, we have a variety of architectural resins, back painted glass with colors and patterns, metallics, leathers, standard glass, all good things there. So we have that. Now we are going to select our cabinet construction. Frameless cabinet construction is typically the most popular with the Aventos systems. And then from there, we just click and select which system we want. So let's do a HK top, and we just input our door dimensions. So this is the actual width and height of the door, not the cabinet box it's going on. So you'll need to make sure you account for any overlays or reveals here. There we go. Whoops, that's a little bit of a short door. Fix that really quick. And as you can see, the system didn't like that. It knew I had made a mistake and told me to correct the value so that I was within the minimum and maximum allowed for the HK top system. So next we're going to add our overlays. So these do need to be entered in millimeters, and you are going to input the information as if you're looking from the back of the door. So typically the left and the right overlay will be the same, so it's not going to be too difficult. But if you do have an instance where you have a different overlay, just make sure you're putting the information from the back of the door as if you were from the inside of the cabinet looking out. So we'll enter a 19 millimeter overlay, and same for the top overlay. So I have the option to include tip-on hardware. Include Aventos hardware is already pre-selected for yes, so that means your aluminum frame door will include all of the hardware needed for installing it. We have the option to include servo drive, which is an automatic powered system that is really cool. It lifts up the door and closes the door by remote button. So you can add that if you like. You can also add a second door, and it can be of a different system type. So we'll go ahead and do the HL here. Oops. Where did it go? Okay, HKS it is. All right. The system wins. Okay, so now do height there and some more overlays. And then when we hit next, we will see that the system has added our doors in the sizes that we selected. And then it's also added all of the hardware that we've needed for the Aventos mechanisms. So everything is already calculated for you for the correct lift mechanism, the arm mechanism, for the power factor based on the width and the weight of the door. So we have everything here. If we wanted to update all of our options, we could do that. We can also see what the finished door is going to look like. And from there, we can actually go ahead and place this order if we're ready to do that. So we'll just do this. And we'll build the fab sheet. So the fabrication details are also already calculated based on the overlay that you provided. So again, you don't have to do any math if you're using the Aventos Wizard, everything done for you. So right here, you can see the L2 dimension for the lifter pilot holes is pre-calculated. You can change to view in millimeters if you prefer to look at it that way too. And from this wizard, you can also add handle hardware. So you have the choice of 1 hole, 2 holes, all the way up to 4 handle holes. And then you can also update the center to center dimensions of those holes as well, if you'd like. So we're going to go to the HKS. So since this is a completely different system, you can see there's only 2 pilot holes here because that bracket only requires 2 pilot holes. If you do get the hardware, the Aventos hardware from us, the door brackets will also come pre-installed on the door. So one less step for you to have to worry about. So yeah, again, the system's calculated the pilot holes. So we'll go ahead and place this order. And you'll see shortly that the system is going to give us a message that we have received the order, and you will get a final email with approval before everything's released to production. So you can do one final double check, make any last minute changes if you need that. So that's the Aventos Wizard for aluminum doors. And I will show you the newest feature that we've added. So this option here, wood door hardware only. So if you select this, it prompts you to select your door style. Right now we have slab door style as the available option. And then you select the wood species that you're using. So variety of options here. We'll do birch, sounds lovely. Frameless, and then again, you simply select the door hardware that you want. So let's do the HK upper. Let's see. Now we'll do, oops. We'll do HK top again. So the door width here, we'll do 36 by 12 as our test. and then Aventos hardware, yes. So we'll do next. And then as you can see, it is calculated a placeholder for the door so you can remember the size that you entered, and then all of the hardware that you'll need for that wood door as well. So you can place this order and get all of the hardware from us. All right, that is it. We'll go ahead and turn it over to any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. That's a great wizard for sure when you're ordering aluminum frame doors and Aventos systems. So yeah, we do have some time for some questions. Looks like we do have some in the chat box. So let's go through those, or excuse me, in the Q&A box. So first question that we have, I'm going to throw it to Neil, is what is an overlay?
All right, Chris. Overlay simply means how much of the door overlays the face of a cabinet. Pretty simple, straightforward from the look of it. It's just how much of the door overlays the face of the cabinet. I don't know how better to explain that one.
Sure. Excellent. All right. Next question we have here is, will the hardware be included with the door? Kevin, if you want to answer that one for us.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So part of the beauty of this Aventos Wizard is you can go either way. There was an option, as Lindsay showed there, to include the hardware or not. By default, that box was checked yes, or that drop down had yes. When our customers have us include the hardware, Lindsay mentioned we'll pre-attach the brackets. Either way, we're going to do all the preparation for the doors. Once the customer gives us their overlays, we'll locate and drill all those pivot holes or hinge holes in the case of the systems that require hinges. But to make it a kind of a one-stop shop, we are happy to include the hardware, and we'll attach the brackets as needed.
Excellent. All right. Another question we have here, Lindsay, we'll direct this one to you. Are hinges also needed in combination with the lift systems?
So there are two lift systems that use the standard 35 millimeter hinge, which is the HF and then the HKXS. So those doors those will be drilled for 35 millimeter hinges. But if you get the Aventos hardware for us, those hinges are included in that kit with the hardware as well as the lifts. So everything is included.
Great. Excellent. All right. Another question here for Neil. Why would my door slam using Aventos?
All right, that's a good question. Usually what that means is that the tension adjustment or the spring package inside has not been adjusted to accommodate the weight of the door. It means that when we ship from the factory, all of our lift systems, the tension is adjusted all the way down just to keep the springs duration of life, so that when you get it, you have to generally adjust the tension up to accommodate the weight of the door.
Okay.
I might chime in. Another possibility would be they ordered a competitor's lift up system. It just doesn't work properly.
That is true too.
Very possible. All right. Another question in here, Kevin. What is the maximum thickness of glass that can be used?
The maximum thickness really doesn't come into play because we standardize on one thickness for all our door frames. So our door frames really only accept a 4 millimeter thick piece of glass, which is 5/32 of an inch, so a little bit thicker than an 1/8 inch. Of course, if you were to use thicker glass in the door will get heavier, and that'll have an impact on the mechanism you use, or even if you're able to use the Aventos at all. But we stick with 4 millimeter. That seems to be the sweet spot for aluminum frame glass doors that we're able to fit a lot of applications.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Neil, we're going to come back to you. So we have a question here. Can you describe the difference between the lift stay options in that kind of first slide or the 6 that you had in there? There was a couple stays. Can you describe the difference between those?
So we have 3 different type of stay lifts. The HK top, which is the higher end, designed to accommodate larger, heavier doors from the standpoint of you can go up to 24 inches tall, 72 inches wide. It also allows you to add servo drive, so the electronic opening assist function. Next, we have HKXS, which actually is the image that's shown kind of in the background of this slide now. It does use a combination of 2 to 3 hinges for the top of the door, and then it's just a simple lift that attaches to the sides of the cabinet and attaches to the door. It's designed for a large range of applications. It's also going to be, you know, kind of on the lesser expensive scale of applications. So it's really kind of that first into lift systems. It's easy to understand. And then lastly, we have the HKS. The HKS is still a stay lift, doesn't require any hinges, but it is a smaller lift mechanism physically. So it's designed for smaller cabinets, smaller weight doors, but it still gives us the function, but we can't add servo drive to it like we can with the HK top.
Okay, excellent, great. Another question in here would be, what is available for our showrooms for hinge samples? So I guess we'll kind of two-part that one. So Kevin, if you would like to answer that from the Element Design side, and then possibly from the Blum side, Debbie or Neil.
Sure. Yeah. From the Element Design side, any product that's ordered to be installed in a showroom for display, we split the cost with our customers. So we offer a 50% discount. Now that would apply to the doors as well as the Aventos hardware if it were ordered along with the doors.
Excellent. All right. Lindsay, can elementONLINE calculate the hole locations to drill for Aventos when you're using the new wood door feature?
So right now we have just launched it calculating the hardware, but we're always looking for ways to improve, and that sounds like a great one. So we will put that on the list of things to consider for developing.
Okay, excellent. Another question in here, Debbie, I'm gonna throw it to you. Which Aventos product is the most popular selling?
I think we see our HKXS, which is the one that's in the image behind the text, as one of the most popular. We're also seeing our HL used as an appliance garage. It's pretty popular to replace the tambour door units. And I think we're seeing a little bit of an influx in our HF, which is the bifold.
Okay, excellent. All right, got some couple more questions in here. Let's see, is there a spec that would allow to calculate how high the door will be when it's open with the different Blum lift systems? Neil, give that one a shot.
Sure. There is a specification. It's in our literature. So you would need to go to blum.com and download the Aventos literature brochure. And for each lift, we have a specification that gives you a formula to calculate how far above the top of the cabinet the door will go. And also, I did see another that kind of ties into that. It's another question in the group about angle restriction clips. So with some of our lifts, basically the HF and then the HK types, we do offer angle restriction clips that will restrict the door opening to less than 90. So for that close to a ceiling application, or if you've got something above like a soffit or anything like that, we can restrict the opening of the door to not hit that particular obstruction.
Excellent.
Hey, Chris and Neil, just one thing I also saw in that previous question, the person that asked said there's been some hesitation to use it because they were afraid their customer may not be able to reach it to close it, but that is avoided with the tension adjustment. Is that correct, Neil?
That is correct. So the idea behind our Aventos lift systems, if the door is adjusted properly and the door weight is balanced, then when you lift the door and you take your hand off of it, the door stays where you left your hand leaves the door. That way you're always able to get to the door again. So you don't have to worry about the door creeping up or going away from you to being able to reach it. So that's the way it's designed, is you adjust the door tension so that when you take your hand off the door stays where it's supposed to.
And if you have the servo drive installed, that actually comes with a button that you can locate anywhere, and you can just push the button, close the door.
That is correct.
Yeah. All right. Lindsay, we're going to come back to you, and maybe you can reshare the elementONLINE section. So there's a question in here that says, what happens when you click on the view product options?
That is a great question. So we have links in all of our product categories. So this here is going to take you to our website. So you can see the different hardware that we have. If you actually click the view quoting and order instructions, it takes you to a PDF, and you can view all of that. And then there's also some training videos on our website as well that you can watch, basically a live screen share demo of how to use all the tools.
Great. All right. I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions here. So I do have one. It says, Neil, this one might come back to you. Does Blum intend to develop specifications for using the lift systems in a flush inset application?
That is a good question, and is one we're getting more answered more, or asked more, I should say, now. We are looking into doing a little bit more in the way of our literature and further describing and specifying the numbers that are needed for an inset application. But right now, the best way to do an inset application is to build a cabinet within a cabinet. That way, all of the planning is still an overlay, and you're not having to worry about subtracting reveals, and also gives you a little bit more room where you don't see hardware. That's the one thing with an inset application. When you install a hardware into the side of the cabinet and you have a reveal, you potentially could see some of the hardware through that reveal. That's why we prefer or recommend the cabinet within a cabinet design for inset.
Great. Great. And I think we'll end on this one, Kevin. What is the most popular aluminum door frame style?
Well, that would be our AF003, which was one of the original profiles from our initial launch years ago. But a couple I would mention that are really gaining traction are AF006 and 10. These are ones where the back painted glass goes almost all the way to the edge for really clean, contemporary look.
Great. Well, thank you very much, everybody, again, for joining us here this afternoon. If you have any more questions, comments, feel free to email us at info@element-designs.com. Just a reminder as well that all attendees will get a copy of the recorded webinar sent via email. So again, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day and weekend.